So coming upon the beach. Apparently this is one of the nicest beaches in the Philippines. Quite a bit of tourism here. Pretty nice beach. Kind of reminds me of Miami Beach a little bit. It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's actually really nice. Pretty nice beach. Yeah, better than Miami Beach. Sand's pretty good. Some cabanas and stuff, some palm trees, a lot of nature, underdeveloped. Yeah, so here we are in Korea, Seoul, Korea, walking through the cherry blossoms next to the river. It's quite beautiful. So that's going to be on the YouTube channel. And that's the camera, 4K. But yeah, it's quite spectacular. I don't know how long it's going to last for. The leaves are already falling. Kind of a pinkish white color. But yeah, great to experience and see. Really nice energy. So we're walking here in the National Palace Museum in Korea. Checking out some of the nature, quite beautiful. It's pretty much a wide open courtyard here. You can imagine that they had a lot of ceremonies held here. Generally, they would be held for memorial purposes, specific holidays, military exercises, things like that. There was 5 different ceremonial setups that the royal family had enacted for each occasion. And interestingly, the death ceremonies, the funerary ceremonies would last 3 years. So they'd celebrate the deaths of someone for 3 years straight. And they had an entire ritual for each occasion held in these courtyards. So yeah, quite beautiful. Right in the center of Seoul, right in the middle of the city. I guess you have to buy a ticket to get into this, it seems, which is definitely worth the money. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But yeah, you can see the modern Seoul behind this royal palace. You can see Microsoft, you see all the tech companies, the banks, and then you've got the old ancient Korea right in front of you. Let's go ahead and walk through the gate. We'll walk back in after I buy a ticket. I highly recommend that people visit museums because museums will give you a lot of insight into the mindset of the modern people. A lot of people don't understand people until you really understand the culture of the people, and you can only do that by studying the history of the people. Now, realistically, Japan invaded Korea, and there were some atrocities committed against the Korean people. You know, as beautiful as the Japanese culture is in history, they did commit atrocities, and they did invade Korea, and it's just a fact. You know, they burnt the queen alive, and the Korean Empire lasted 13 years, so it didn't last very long. And you can understand the mindset of the Korean people today in relation to Japan and the level of possible unfriendliness they may have towards the people of Japan, although there are relationships between Japan and Korea today in business. There's still that memory of the past. So you have to always keep that in mind when you're thinking about, you know, the mindset of people in Korea. Let's take a look at the gargoyle at the entrance. I don't know if they call it gargoyle in Asia, but look at this, incredible, beautiful, stunning view right there. I mean, just take in that view. Formidable, beautiful, elegant entrance. Yeah, Koreans are quite good artists. So here we are inside the Royal Palace courtyard. Crossing the moat. And again, most of this is open space as they were held for ceremonial purposes. That's why there's a lot of blank space here. It's actually a very large complex. I'm glad I came here early. It does close around 7 p.m. So this is a good time to come. I came about an hour and a half ago. I already explored the museum. And museum gave me some insights into the history of the Korean kingdom. At one point, it was called the Hermit Kingdom because they just were completely closed off to the rest of the world, just like Japan was. Entering through the gateway, and it just keeps going back there. It's a huge complex. You know, if I come to these places, I like to come early instead of coming late, because then you get to really take your time and relax and not rush through everything. Quite a few Koreans here. Some places you go and you don't see the people of the country are disinterested in their own history and culture, and you don't really see that here in Korea. It seems that there is some interest still, but it is kind of sad if the young generation doesn't really have any interest in studying historical information about their past. It's actually kind of pathetic, because you should know history. I mean, everyone should know as much history as they can learn. I mean, I would suggest anyone spending at least an hour a day on studying history. We live in a very ignorant world with a lot of sheep who just they just get fed news by the local media. They refuse to intake historic information because they're lazy. One of the hacks you can do is just visiting historic sites, and not to take pictures for Instagram to show off, but to learn for yourself about what was. So the mountains in the background looks beautiful. All right, so we're gonna climb the steps here. This pagoda. This looks like a chicken. And these look like cats. Well, these are cats. We're going to take a look inside. And as you can see, the seat for His Majesty. Beautiful paint job. Absolutely beautiful paintwork, artistry in this building. The colors are very vivid. Got aquamarine blue, teal, pink, some red. And let's go ahead and walk around this way. You can get a close up to see the woodwork here. Fantastic pottery skills. All right, this area is a little condensed. Let me get around this. The negatives of tourism. Although I think tourism helps financially support these buildings, it is best to go off the beaten track a little bit sometimes. This is a premier tourist site in Seoul, so it's to be expected. You can see the traditional clothing. Beautiful style. Let's see if we can sneak in here and get another view. Quite lovely looking with the clothes that the women are wearing. Versus today. Different world they lived in ancient times. They're probably TikToking away. Instagramming away. So they almost look like they're floating the way the dresses are designed. It's like a bell structure. In Japan, they wear the kimono. So this is one of the historic villages in Seoul where you see traditional style buildings. Quite steep steps, pretty much the norm. And this is it. Maybe not the whole thing, but definitely part of it. So yeah. Old Korean style architecture. This is a nice one. I'm not sure how many are active homes, maybe all of them. Let's go up here. Some of these are under restoration, as you can see. This one's being worked on. Get a view from this point. Let's go down this way. Definitely very hilly in Korea. Cafe. Yeah, it's very, very hilly. I mean, look at this. So yeah, your legs should be in pretty good strength to do this. Oh, there's a nice sunset. What a surprise. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, probably not. Really nice sunset. Some things cameras just cannot pick up. So you take a picture here, that's nice. How nice is that? How nice is that? Go back, but yeah, I get the idea. Nice little village in Seoul, in the midst of the city. History. Historic districts are always nice to see. Fun to visit. Like I said, very hilly. And then you can see in the distance the Needle city. Pretty good views up here. Somebody's door. Out here in the college university area. Mostly college people. So this is the traditional Korean market in Busan. Definitely selling some interesting things I've never seen before. But yeah, pretty common in most Asian cities. You're going to see these kind of marketplaces. I mean, we have them in America, but it's more for wholesale. A lot of fish, crabs. Down that way, they got vegetables. Dried fruit. Just everyday stuff, definitely interesting. No tourist. For some reason, I don't know why. I guess because it's quite interesting, honestly. Kind of wonder why there's no tourist here, but maybe they don't know about it. A lot of fish. Frogs. Wow. That's crazy. Got frogs in there. They got eels. They got turtles. A lot of frogs. That's wild. Some of these look like, look at these eels. I've actually never seen some of these things before. Just checking the other side, so it goes in many different directions. Maybe a couple of tourists, probably from Asia, but it seems like 99% of the people here are just local Korean people shopping for wholesale. A few food stalls. Everything's fresh. I mean, this is amazing. I guess, like I said, people don't know about it, so, you know, there's no tourists here. As tourism might increase in a few years, I'm sure they'll start coming in here, but most of it is food that you have to like get to take home. You got seaweed. Definitely really interesting. I mean, some people might think like, hey, I don't want to go look at old stuff and food markets and things like that, but it's very fascinating to see the difference of the stuff they have compared to America, where I'm from. It's actually kind of cramped. I can barely walk. Traffic jam. Trying to identify some of these things. Kind of stuck behind a lady with a cane. That's why it's going slow. Get around this. Yep, when you're old, kind of a nuisance to society. But we're all gonna be there one day. But yeah, kind of everyone wants to scurry through life quickly and get shit done. And sometimes when you got an old lady on a walker, it's slowing down traffic, everybody gets annoyed. They want to get ahead of her. Here we go again, another one. Got the dogs in the basket. I don't know. Hopefully that's not gonna turn into doggy food. So they used to eat dog in Korea. This is a known fact. And they actually still have dog restaurants, which I've looked up. Now, I haven't tried it. And I guess they banned it recently, but it's just moving like lightning now. Everybody's kind of speeding through here. This lady's jamming through here 100 miles an hour. Kind of hectic, honestly, the energy. It's a little annoying. It was relaxed, and now everybody's just kind of zipping through here like race cars. Garlic. I mean, pretty damn healthy food, though, I gotta say. I mean, everything here looks incredibly healthy. It's real food. Super interesting. Stuck behind the old folks again. They got some high quality stuff in here, I will say. I've never seen anything like this before. Frozen fish. Wow. I mean, this place is amazing. Glad I came. I mean, like I said, some of this stuff is very inspirational. It just shows you humans at work. This is a raw form of humanity, survival. You're not thinking about YouTube videos. They're thinking about selling, surviving, their family selling the stuff they harvest, the hardworking farmers, and trying to, hopefully they can sell out and make their money and feed their family. That's what the mindset of them, of the people is. But yeah, huge market. I mean, way bigger than Japan. Way bigger, way bigger. The one in Japan is a joke. I mean, not Tsukiji, but this is unbelievable. It's like a mile long. It's huge. A lot of fish, a lot of different types of meat, vegetables. Oh, this is the real Korea. The real deal Korea right here. All right, guys, I'll be back later. Gonna close this segment for now. This is actually the world's largest department store. And it's right here on the side of the road. You can see right here. main street. This is Busan, Korea, but yeah, they have the world's largest department store right there. It's nothing more than a shopping mall, but interesting to see. Nothing special inside, but the food court is pretty cool. And then behind it, it says Trump World, as in Donald Trump Development. So, Trump apartment complex in the world's largest shopping mall. Really nice view right here. Got this little island here with a bunch of trees. Some people fishing on the bay. Some luxury buildings. But yeah, nice area to ride a bike, scooter, walk around. Look at that, the beach. Look at that beautiful Korean beach at night. Nice daytime view out here in Korea. Kind of chilly though. Just walking along here in Busan. It's basically a small beach town area. Mostly couples, dogs as babies. Like, you know, the Korean birth rate is slow or low. So what they do is they get babies, baby dogs. And you see all day long baby strollers with dogs in it. It's pretty fucking crazy, honestly. But overall, it's like a nice little beach. It's small, you know, water's too cold to swim in. A couple of spots to eat. Most of the food is like mediocre. Look at this Bronx. They got a whole restaurant called Bronx. And then there's a Mexican spot which is decent. New York burger. I'd say the food is like subpar. It's not that great on the beach. Like, there's a few you know, I haven't really been impressed with the food in Korea. I like the food, but in general, I would just say I'm not like blown away by the food. Like, it's all right. It's decent. It's honestly preferable to Japan. Japan, I was kind of frustrated with the food, but the food over here is decent, you know. But yeah, it's mostly Koreans over here. There are a few tourists, not a lot, but there's a few. But it's pretty hardcore Korean. Like, Busan in general is like low on tourism. I'll see like maybe 10 white people a day, maybe like 20. Black people, maybe like 5. So there's like, you see like literally a few, less than you can count on both hands. Like, as far as foreigners go, like the most common foreigners I see, maybe some people from Russia. Well, yeah, in general, it's mostly Koreans. So it's interesting. It's not on the map in general with tourists. But I'd recommend checking it out for a day. I wouldn't come any more than a day or two. Maybe a day, just check it out, walk. All you need is one day. Just come by, walk through here, check it out, and then leave. But it's not really that great. Another night view really looks nice. So right at the top of this hill is this pagoda-like structure. You can climb up it. Why is my phone ringing? Stop. Okay. Magnificent. You see the intricate painting on the ceiling. Nice view right there. Very windy though. Very windy. It's just a very typical Korean street in Seoul. Not too much different than we have in America, honestly. A lot of the women walk around with umbrellas. I guess they don't want to get sun exposure. So they say this is the last generation of Korean people, according to my barber, because they don't have kids as much anymore. Well, they really don't. Some of them do, obviously, but look at this green Benz. They need to buy those Mercedes Benzes and not, have kids. It's too expensive to have children. Nice day out, hot out. Place is pretty amazing. This is a wooden cause sculpture. Inside this venue, see on the ceiling here. Huge venue. Yeah, they have some pretty astounding architectural feats in Asia, I will say. But yeah, this is by the airport. Guess they're renting out these cars for people with their kids to. Pretty cool. Super advanced country. I guess that's why maybe the birth rate's declining, because they have so many work hours to make this amazing shit. this is just a typical street in Seoul, Korea. Some of the architecture is even reminiscent of maybe Queens or Brooklyn. Typical shop that sells Korean traditional food, gimbap, kimchi stew, bulgogi, things like that. See, this is pretty much what most of the neighborhoods are comprised of. Another seafood place right here. Coffee shop. And here's an old school barber shop. But yeah, this is just a typical street in Seoul, Hongdae section of Seoul. So this area is called Myeongdong, and it's basically, it's a big tourist area with just hundreds of shops that are selling similar products, mostly skincare, face mask. And that's pretty much it. And then there's some food in the middle, street food type of stuff. Chicken on a skewer, a lot of fried products. Very touristy, very, very, very touristy, but has kind of a New York vibe to it, kind of like I would say 34th Street / Times Square vibe, more 34, if you want to compare it. And Nike, Adidas, things like that. So it's really nothing uniquely cultural to Korea, in my opinion. But it seems to attract a lot of tourists from Asia, Russia, China, places like that. A few Americans, not many, but yeah. Overall, not really worth coming to Korea just to see this, but worth checking out for one night. So basically, these are pictures of the people who died resisting against the Japanese. So this is the Seodaemun prison, which was set up by the Japanese to imprison Koreans. And it closed it was actually an active prison until 1987. There's an example of how they used to torture the Koreans. And then this was an interrogation room mock-up. As you can see, they're being interrogated. And then we have detention room. Psychological torture inflicting mental oppression on the suspect. So you would just put them there with in a room. Pretty horrific. This is the underground torture chamber underneath the prison. Fingernail torture, induced needle-like. So this is where they, wow. This is pretty awful. So here we are with the cell blocks. Kind of like old American prisons. One of the examples would be Stateville, which closed. But there was a Illinois-based prison called Stateville, which had a similar layout. I mean, these cells are ridiculous. This is like the size of a person. I mean, this is probably worse than Supermax. I mean, much smaller rooms in Supermax. Guess you can't go on the next level. That's probably where the COs were. And then let's see this room. This is a bigger room, probably for multiple inmates. You can see the feeding tray, 1875 to 65. Wow. So this was active in 1965 as a jail. But I think they later turned it into a normal prison before it was a political prison. So here's more view of the prison, and this is the main execution site. And then underground, they had a place to pick up the bodies. General overview of the prison. I actually saw a couple here, a European couple, taking pictures here, like together, smiling. I'm like, unbelievable, the fucking disrespect. Unbelievable. When you come to a place like this, you need to shut your mouth and read and just take it in. You don't take pictures with your girlfriend and smile and laugh. People need to learn respect. And then there's the exercise yard, so pretty much just walk back and forth. Go in one of them. Just pretty much pace around. That's all you would do. You do exactly what they did. What you would do all day. Well, for an hour, I guess. And then just go back and forth. That's it. Well, at least they got to be outside. The ones in America nowadays, they don't have any, some of them don't have any little tiny bit of light indoors in the max security. See all that. And here we have the death row, actually the execution area. And then this tree was said to be where a lot of inmates would cry freedom. It's the actual tree. It died in, I guess, 2016, interestingly. But yeah, all the people that were about to be executed used to touch the tree and cry for the freedom of Korea. And then inside you're not allowed to film, but it's the actual execution area with a noose for people to be hung and watch it, but you're not allowed to take photos. It's the original site. Everything's original. And then this tree is said to have grown from the former, actually, I don't know, it said a sapling was born from the death of this tree. Very interesting. And then there's a tunnel back there that they would transport the bodies out, which you can't go inside either. There's a nice mountain in the background. But yeah, pretty, old school type of prison. Looks like a San Quentin or a Folsom. One of those American style prisons. Actually still operating. It's in Thailand, ancient city. Statue's pretty massive. Bro. There's just all the ancient city over here. Buddhist temples. Pretty incredible. Really incredible. Got a buffalo right here. This guy's just chowing down. Grass-fed beef. This is Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya in Thailand. Ancient ruin site. This is just the entrance. Pretty big tourist destination. This is one of the larger temples. It was built against as a victory temple against Burmese invaders, apparently.